Welcome, Aries. This is your weekly Taroscope reading for August the 8th through to the 14th, 2016. My name is Tilly, and this is Tarot with Tilly. And before I begin, thank you. Thank you so much for all of your support, the loving, positive, beautiful support that you give me each and every day. Truly, thank you so, so much. Now, let's see what the energy of the week has in store for you. We start with the High Priestess. So I always look at the High Priestess as a spiritual magic coming in. We have the Hangman, so meditation and prayer is probably going to be very important. You need, in order to align ourselves with that spiritual magic. The Three of Wands, we are definitely looking at our new path forward. And the Seven of Pentacles, what are we cultivating right now in our lives? I'm just going to put the cards aside. We'll pull out some more in a few minutes. Let's go over these with a little bit more detail, though. We have the High Priestess, which is the spiritual magic. Now, it's right next to the Hangman and the Seven of Pentacles. So we really need to start to question ourselves through meditation, through prayer, through being alone with our thoughts. What are we really putting our energy into? Is it what we want to put our energy into? Do we need to change our focus, need to change our direction? With the Three of Wands here, okay, an expansive, beautiful new path is open to you. And so we hold that first wand. There's a series of 3 wands here, and there's a series of 3 wands for a reason, because we want to look at our path forward in one way going forward. But then we want to look at perhaps where we are and what we need to take further on our path if we actually want to step into that path, that new path forward. The third wand is where we make our decisions. So I don't think this is actually a decision-making week for you. It's more of looking at where you are right now, what your energy is actually being put into. Is it where we want to put our energy? What are our goals and our dreams? And maybe redefine them so we understand if we are putting our energy in the right place. And then spiritual magic here says definitely to meditate, to pray, to be alone with your thoughts, to do your affirmations every single day, to enhance your vibration and enhance the likelihood of the things that you want to come into your life actually coming into your life. We have the Hermit. So this is an underlying energy. So it's not an energy that we really do, but we might actually feel more contemplative this week. We may be looking at things a little bit deeper. The Hermit is essentially somebody who goes out into the desert or into his cave, and he taps into his higher wisdom. He taps into his intuition. He devises the plan for his goals and his dreams and his desires, and then he emerges from the desert. He emerges from the cave to go forward with the surety, with the strength, with an empowerment. Overriding energy is the Four of Pentacles. So something could very well be holding you back from actually pursuing your dreams, your desires. Maybe you feel a loyalty in another area of your life that you don't want to go against. Maybe it's other people holding you back from stepping into the things that you want. Maybe they're putting fear into your path, or maybe you are allowing the fear to enter your path. It could be that you feel very comfortable where you are. That could be another thing. Absolutely. You're comfortable. You've worked to a certain degree. You know, and I'm thinking this is more of a work card, more of moving forward in the energy of career development, financial development. And so, you know, you might be sitting there in a half decent spot in your life right now. And you were hoping the door would open. You were hoping that you would have that availability to climb the corporate ladder or take the next promotion. And perhaps things are kind of flatlining for you. You don't see what you saw a couple of months back maybe, or maybe a couple of years back even. And so maybe you are rethinking where you are putting your energy and why you are putting your energy there. This card is definitely one that tells you to embrace your talents, the things that you do so remarkably well, just so naturally. To embrace those things because that is going to enhance your future forward. So if the two aren't in alignment, you know, if you're just working for the paycheck, that's probably not a good idea with this card up here. We need to dive into our passions, our abilities, our talents. So maybe it's a part-time job. Maybe it is doing some kind of charitable work on the side. Maybe it's doing some kind of work within the community or a group of people. But this card is definitely saying that you are not moving forward in the direction that you actually want to. Or, and not an or, but, and so there's something that's probably holding you back. So through meditation and prayer, once again, you can understand a little bit clearer how things are holding you back. And that can happen when we start to think of what are we cultivating? Where are we putting our energy? And if we want to move in a different direction, then why are we not putting our energy in that direction? We have the Knight of Wands. And who's he with? The King of Cups. And we got a little bit of royalty happening here. The Knight of Wands and the King of Cups together, you know, this is really telling you that you are going to understand your security through the path that you've walked. Because he came up second, didn't he? So it's by looking in our past of maybe what didn't work, maybe what worked, that we start to get an alignment for how we can go forward. Where we actually have our strengths, where we actually have our abilities to bring in that security, to bring in that well-being. This could also be, if we were looking at love, this could actually be somebody coming back into your life that was either somebody that was like an anchor for you at one point in time or a real strength for you, or they can be a strength going forward. Maybe they had to get their head on straight. Maybe you had to get your head on straight before the relationship would actually work. But it's definitely calling us, those two cards are definitely calling us to revisit a little bit of our past, to learn the wisdom that we took away from experiences on building our security, on building our foundation. For work, career, we have the Ace of Swords. So this is the aha moments, the epiphanies coming in. We also take that sword and we draw a line in the sand. So this could be where you've had enough of climbing a corporate ladder that is seemingly capped out, and you decide to go in a new way, put resumes out in new areas, maybe tapping into something that is more aligned with your passion, your creativity, who you truly are, something to make you want to jump out of bed in the morning. This could be where you are devising a new way going forward with a hobby and turning it into a business, or taking that business that you have been thinking about and actually taking it off the ground. And, you know, we're planting the seeds, right? Last week was a new moon, so it is still time to plant those seeds. It's still time to go forward in new directions, new desires, new dreams. This could be new jobs coming into play, new ways of making money. And so once again, we have that spiritual magic coming in. We have the Hangman right after. So I think that you will get a lot through meditation and prayer this week in knowing where you need to go, what steps you need to take. So when we align ourselves that way, we really need to allow the first thing we hear and give that some credence. And sometimes, you know, the first thing we hear is something that we don't want to hear. So we say, oh, no, no. And we wait a little bit longer, and then our ego takes over and says, well, we could do this instead. And we go on that path, and then we're not as successful as we thought we could have been. We don't have that oomph behind it. So really take the first thing that you hear, and if it scares you, if it worries you, if it looks like it's too much work, if it looks like it shouldn't be a part of your path at all, then ask yourself why. Dig the question deeper. Okay, with the Hangman, we are truly finding the balance going forward of how it works. There's a lot of emotion there, and there is a lot of thought there with the Hangman. So use your emotion, use your thoughts to clarify your position of where you are now, where you are putting your energy, and where you want that energy to take you going forward. And for love relationships, we have the Nine of Swords. I would have to say that you might be hitting some difficult spots in relationships this week, but they're not as big as you are making them out to be, or they are not as big as your partner is making them out to be. Okay, this is where we could take molehills and turn them into mountains. I've been using that expression way too often lately for some reason, but it's true. Okay, we can grow the smallest of things. You know, we can sit there and go, oh, I can't believe they didn't do the dishes tonight again. I can't believe they didn't clear the table for me again. I can't believe they didn't mow the lawn, take out the garbage, pick up the kids after school again. And so then we make it into this big thing that they are working against us, that they're not on the same team, that, you know, and it's instead of just saying, hey, you know, this is like the second time and I don't mind doing it, but, you know, we need to have equity here. We need to have fairness, equality, not equity, equality. I saw a word in front of me. Sorry, I read it wrong. So I get words, I get pictures, and sometimes the wrong word comes out until I look at it or I say it aloud. I'm sorry about that. But we need equality within the relationship. And so there might be some things that bother you about the partnership and how the roles are divvied up, what the responsibilities and obligations are for each person, and how they come together as one. So we could talk about it this week. Absolutely. We could, you know, start the conversation, plan what you're going to do. I mean, we have the hangman there, so we want to think about what we're going to say so that it's welcomed what we say, and it doesn't start this big World War III kind of atmosphere around you. If you are single, you know, you got to start thinking that you are worthy and deserving of somebody, that there's somebody out there. You have to raise your energy. You know, I almost get this woe is me, I don't have anybody and nobody's coming around and I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life. And, you know, you could just grow that and grow that. It could snowball into horrific thoughts. So we don't want to do that. We want to think very positive about ourselves, what we can bring to the relationship. That raises your vibration, that raises your energy, and it will bring happiness and joy into your life through other people. So until we meet again, remember, I do love you.